Hey guys, so today I am 7 weeks and 1 day pregnant. So today was like an amazing day for me. Um, I, first, hold on. I'll go into that in a second. Baby is the size of a raspberry, so still teeny tiny. Sweet Pea's head is like 95% of its body right now, of his or her body right now, which is really cool. But, come on. Sorry, my dog wants to come up here. But what was so cool about today, as I said in my last video, I got to go see my baby for the first time. Today was my first sonogram. And I was a emotional, nervous wreck up until I got to see Sweet Pea's heartbeat. I was just scared. Like, I was just scared. There was no other way to put it. I was flat out, I was scared. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know... I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get, like, an internal sonogram. That didn't scare me. I just didn't know, like, was the baby going to have a heartbeat? You know, what am I... what's going to happen? And so it was very nerve-wracking. Unfortunately, my mom wasn't able to be there, and neither was my husband. So I had my mother-in-law. And I kind of had to tell her beforehand that, and I did it in a nice way, I needed her to be my emotional support. I needed her to kind of hold it together for me because I was already very nervous and very scared, and I kind of needed her to be strong for me if something wasn't right or, you know, whatever. And she was great. The only thing that bugged her was the fact, like, she just couldn't get over the fact that, because back in the day, they didn't, back when my mom was pregnant with me or when she was pregnant with my husband, you know, they didn't do sonograms vaginally. And so she, that kind of blew her mind a little bit that they were doing that. And she kept going, it's not going to hurt the baby, is it? It's not hurting the baby. And the sonogram tech was so sweet. She was like, no, it's fine. It's not hurting the baby. We promise. And she's like, well, they didn't do that to me. You know, I kind of explained to her, too, you know, that, you know, back in the 80s and stuff, and, you know, 80s and 90s and stuff, you know, they didn't have, you didn't find out you were pregnant until you missed your period. You know, now you can keep track of everything, and you know before you even have to freaking take a pregnancy test anymore. And, you know, I told her, I'm like, I knew I was pregnant before I missed my period. And she's like, wow, really? I said, yeah. I knew like 3 days before my missed period. And she was like, what? That's insane. That's crazy. And so I was like, you probably didn't find out you were pregnant with Joe or his sister until you were what? Probably 3 months along? And she's like, yeah, somewhere in there. I'm like, yeah. You know, it's different now. And so it just kind of blew her mind a little bit. But, I'll show you guys the pictures in a second. They did find I guess what's kind of like a blood blister, kind of like behind the baby or like right beside the baby. So hubby's not going to like this. There's no whoopee for the next 7 weeks. until I'm out of the first trimester, which we haven't really been doing that lately because I've been so sick that I'm just like, feel like it feels like motion sickness for me. Like, just, yeah. So they asked me if I had had any bleeding, and I said at about 5 weeks, I had one day where it was just like pink. It wasn't real red. It wasn't blood. And I said it didn't last long, and it wasn't bad. And she's like, okay, well, just so you know, no intimacy. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. I can't do that because then I sink. But so yeah, so that's gonna suck. But it's to protect the baby and everything, so I'm okay with that. And so I'll show you guys the 3 little pictures that I got. A little sweet pea. This little line thing right here is the baby. And then this is the best picture because right here is the baby. You can see the little head and its little octopus, like its little tadpole self going on right here. From looking at it, I can see because I know what I'm looking for, which is really cool thanks to the little apps and stuff that I have. I can see like the little tail and its little flippers, so that's cool. And then here is the egg yolk sac and the baby. So I am measuring exactly like I thought I would. They had me going, they're like, oh, you're 9 weeks. So I was like, no, you're wrong. And so when she was like, oh yeah, I'm measuring, she goes, yeah, I looked at the screen when she popped up, like how far along I was. I'm like, yes, I was right, 7 weeks and 1 day. And she goes, what do you mean you were right? She's like, we have you at 9 weeks. I'm like, no. I'm like, I have PCOS. I know when I ovulated, there was no way I was 9 weeks. And she's like, oh, okay. And even the doctor that I met with today, her and I talked. I'm like, yeah, I have PCOS. And I'm like, she's like, yeah, we're changing your due date to April 16th. And I said, yeah, because y'all were going off my last period. And that really, with PCOS, it doesn't do anything. She's like, yeah, she's like, no, you're not regular enough. So, you're good. Baby's heartbeat was at about 156 beats a minute or something like that. She said it was good. The last few times that I gone to the doctor, they were a little bit concerned, or I was more concerned. They weren't. My blood pressure was a little bit high. So today it was 120/60, which was really good. It's not the greatest, but it was still good. And she's like, the tech was just like, yeah, you're just nervous or whatever. She's like, seeing little Peanut today kind of helped relax you. I'm like, you have no idea. I'm like, I was so nervous going into this. And she's like, I get it. She's like, every first time mom is that way. So it made me feel better. All my symptoms are very much the same. Actually, I have started picking up a stronger sense of smell. And I now have an aversion to fabric softener. My husband he washes our clothes, or we take it to his parents' house and his mom does it. And she was like, well, yeah, Joe told me I can't wash the clothes in fabric softener anymore. I said, no, the scent makes me sick. And she's like, well, what about just washing his clothes in the fabric softener? I said, nope. I said, because I can still smell it. And she's like, oh, okay. So, no more fabric softener for us. The smell just makes me sick. So, I have been having the worst, I wouldn't say the worst morning sickness. I'm sure people have it worse than me. But generally I get sick in the morning, and usually by the end of the day I'm like hit or miss on if I'm going to vomit or not. Most of the time I vomit. I thought I was good last night, and then midnight hit and acid reflux kicked in, and yeah, it was just one of those things of I felt like I had to vomit, and so I did. I have lost, since my first initial appointment, I was at 312 pounds. I am now down to 309. So I have already lost 30 pounds in like 2 weeks. So that's not exactly, I mean, it's not bad, it's not good, but it's just because I'm not able to keep anything down. So, and I've also cut out fast food and sodas and, all that yucky stuff, kind of thing. So, yeah, so I think that will do it for my little baby bump date. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell to let you guys know when I post new videos. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Lots of love, lots of baby dust to everybody who is in this lovely world of TT scene and getting pregnant and everything. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.